After writing 2 transformational books myself and supporting many other beings to do the same, I've become enthralled by the deep and mysterious magic that's activated when we choose to say yes to ourselves and commit to the book writing journey. Of course, we want to inspire change and new perspectives in our readers, but the transformation that happens as an author, both throughout the writing process and by actually releasing your book into the world, is surprisingly potent. I know I've been blindsided in the most disruptive and delicious ways by some of the changes my books have brought into my life. Writing a book is like casting a spell. Although we can never be completely sure what's going to be unleashed during the process, we choose to do it anyway. This Unbound One is a heroic journey. Each book has the potential to be a magical portal, a doorway to a new world, both for you and your reader. Each book has a very specific medicine that it's here to share with us. And each book gives us the opportunity to alchemize the magnificent imperfection of our experience into gold. The truth is that anyone can write a book. We could all get a few thousand words down and put them together. But what fascinates me is what happens when we allow the book writing process to go deeper. When we say, fuck it, get naked and dive way down beneath the surface. Letting go of the shoulds and any need to be acceptable, sensible, or approved of. What fascinates me is what happens when we make ourselves fully available to being transformed by the very act of writing a book. This is Unbound Writing, and this is the process we'll be exploring together here in the Unbound Writers Club. I'm Nicola Humber, author and founder of the Unbound Press, and I help magical beings to write the transformational book they're really here to write at this time. I'm your guide here in the Unbound Writers Club, and the aim of this podcast is to help you to feel supported, encouraged, activated as you embark on your book writing journey. Whether you're a first-time author or have many books out in the world, my hope is that you will find something here to inspire you. Let's dive in. Hello and welcome into the Unbound Writers Club. I am so delighted you're here. And this is the final part of this mini-series we have been doing over the past few weeks around the abundant author. How to be, how to embody, how to step more fully into the abundant author you are here to be. The abundant author you already are. And that is part of what we've been talking about, particularly in the earlier episodes of this mini-series, is how this is already part of your identity. If you're here, if you're listening to this, the abundant author is already at least part of who you are. You may not fully believe that or know it right now, but it's something like this is a part of your identity you get to connect with. So we have talked about embodiment, intention, we've talked about visibility, we have talked about offer creation, like creating a compelling offer around your writing. If you haven't listened to the past few episodes, you may want to go back and listen to those. And today we're going to close things out by talking about collaboration and connection. Like this is the final layer of the abundant author journey that I wanted to speak to in this mini-series. We could have also dived into launching, actually, laid back launching, which is another layer. But all of these areas are elements of our new membership, the Abundant Author Academy. So if you want to dive into this journey more fully, I invite you to come and join us over there. But let's talk about collaboration and connection, because this is a really, really key piece. And it's something that I have really recognized. It's everything when it comes to creating an abundant business. Whether that business is around your books or not, being open to collaborate with other magical beings, to like be in connection and just see where that leads is so, so powerful. And it's something that has made all of the difference in my own personal business. So when we are writing, when we are putting our books out there, we are sharing elements of what's coming through in our writing. We talked about this in the visibility episode. We can be sharing and people will engage with what we share in different ways. Sometimes that engagement, it may not be apparent to us. Like they may be engaging through seeing what we're sharing, appreciating it, resonating with it, maybe making some kind of like change or shift in their own life and, acting on what we've shared. Sometimes we may not be aware of that. Sometimes people may connect with us, interact with us in the form of choosing to come closer and become clients. Well, either through buying our book and, becoming a reader, or stepping into one of our offerings, whether that's one-to-one or a group offering. Sometimes people may be, more cheerleaders and just interacting with your writing, with your work, with your books, really being a champion of who you are and what you're sharing. And sometimes there may be potential opportunities that come your way as you are sharing your writing, as people are connecting with your books. And when I talk about sharing your writing, that could be through the form of actually sharing pieces of your writing. It could be like having a podcast where you talk about what's coming through in your book. It could be like through video lives, just sharing what's coming through in your writing in different ways. And this is something that often we can neglect as authors or not appreciate. The opportunities that can flow to us because we are sharing our magic, our medicine, our message through both our books and through our writing. People can connect with what you're sharing, and those connections can lead to things like invitations to be a guest on a podcast, or maybe to be part of a summit or some kind of online event, invitations to be part of an in-person event or gathering, opportunities to collaborate with other magical beings, maybe to host some kind of program, workshop, again, some kind of event together, opportunities to, co-create, maybe co-creating another book, some kind of collaborative book. The potential here is limitless. And sometimes we get so focused on like the money piece, which I totally get because it is important. We want everyone in this community to be financially abundant, like be creating those flows of financial abundance. But we can get so hung up on the numbers, on the money, on the number of clients, the number of people stepping into your programs, like the amount of, engagement, likes, comments you're getting on your posts. And we neglect these other opportunities that are coming our way or that can come our way. And actually, this is I'm trying to think of the right word. It's kind of like, this is what underpins a successful, don't really like that word because it's so subjective, but really underpins an abundant business. It's like when you're not having to do and come up with everything on your own. You're not having to do all of the marketing for your business, like in this isolated way. You're not having to create everything on your own because different opportunities are coming your way. The potential to collaborate and co-create with other aligned souls. And this is where the community piece is so important. It's like you get to see your book, your offers, what you are creating in the world and the people you're connected with, your community, readers, clients, people who are in your audience, for want of a better word, as this ecosystem. And there is the potential for all of these like sparks of magic to form within that ecosystem, beyond which you could imagine like yourself. So when you connect and collaborate, co-create with another person, what it does is it opens up a new community for you, or it has the potential to do that. You get to expand your impact, your influence from like the people who are already connected with you to all of the people that this other person, this other being is connected with. So this is really good to know, like in terms of like your business, but also when it comes to launching your book and sharing your book. Like when you are able and willing to collaborate with other people in your community, in your audience, people you're connected with, like it opens up this potential to reach a whole new group of people. Now, again, I remember like back in the day when I was taught about like joint ventures, collaborations, and there was very much this focus on numbers. It was like, if you're going to host a summit, you want people to have like 5,000 people on their email list or something. Never sat right with me. I was like, nah, sorry. I mean, I haven't got 5,000 people on my email list now. And it is so not about the numbers. Someone could have 5,000 like deeply unengaged people on their email list. But it was it felt very transactional, the way I was taught to go about this business of collaborating with others, creating some kind of joint venture. It really is not, like everything I've been sharing in this series, it's not about the numbers. It's about the quality of connection. Say somebody reaches out to you and invites you to co-create something with them. Maybe it's some kind of, say it's an online workshop. So you co-create that together and it's related to something to do with your book, to do with your writing, and also bringing in like the other person's perspective and magic. Maybe that person, I don't know, has a relatively small audience and somebody like, some coaches, mentors might be like, well, is it really worth it to do that? Even if there is one person in that community, in that other person's audience, who deeply resonates with what you're sharing and chooses to come closer, maybe to work with you in some other way, or to be another co-creative partner, like I get the potential there. We can never know what the potential might be. So I'm not saying that you should just like blindly accept every opportunity that comes your way, like really feel into it, but it gets to be based on much, 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 much more than numbers, like the potential reach. And you never know, like when you collaborate, when you co-create with someone, you never know what, like the impact that's going to have on the relationship we have with that other person as well. Like what I have found to be true is that when I enter into some kind of partnership with somebody, even if it's like super short term, even if it's like being on somebody's podcast, being a guest, or inviting them to be a guest on my podcast, or to participate in something in some way, doing that most of the, like 99% of the time, is gonna like deepen that relationship in a positive way. You are going to be in deeper connection with that other person. And then that relationship continues to evolve. I'm thinking as I'm talking about this, about a collaboration I did with the magical Leah Kent back. Oh my goddess, I can't remember what year it was. It was probably maybe 2015, 2016. I had connected with Leah through like a connection call. At the time, I was focusing on like money mindset and helping women in their business. And I'd had a call with Leah. We'd connected around a free resource I'd offered around pricing. And we stayed in touch afterwards. And she reached out to me and said, look, would you like to do this workshop together, an online workshop around like using your intuition? And I was like, sure, let's do it. So we did it. It's still on YouTube, I think. But that deepened our connection, like co-creating, collaborating in that way. That was, I don't know, 7-8 years ago. Because of that connection and because we got to co-create in that way, like we continue to do so in different ways. And then when I started the Unbound Press, and when I got to the point where we were looking for our own team, I knew that Leah, like part of her genius is design, and she's like a writer herself. So it was just a no-brainer for her to be part of the team and become one of the designers that we work with at the Unbound Press. And that relationship has continued to flourish and like she is such an amazing support to our authors that she works with. Like I've invited Leah to be part of different like summits and interview series that we've had. And I know that relationship, that connection will continue to evolve and spark so much magic for both of us. And that all comes from that one initial call that we had back in 2015, 2016. So this cannot be quantified, but the more connections that you make, the more open you are to, let's just see where this goes. Because very often when you have a connection with someone initially, you may not have you may just know that you resonate with each other, and maybe like you're interacting with each other on social media, and then you decide to have like a virtual coffee date or to meet up in person if they're local to you. And you don't know, you've got nothing specific in mind about where that might lead or how you may want to co-create together, or if you would even want to co-create together. But my encouragement to you is always to be open and see where connections want to lead. I can't tell you, I've given you that one example of Leah. I cannot, and pretty much everyone on the Unbound Press team, like that kind of magical journey has happened. Yeah, I knew these people one way or another through meeting either online or in person. And then all of a sudden down the line, we end up working, co-creating together. And through that, we get to share our people, our audiences, our communities. Like referrals happen all the time. New people coming into both of our worlds through our connection. The key thing here is to be open and to always have that focus on connection. And yes, you can like go out seeking people if you have a particular thing that you are creating. Maybe it is a summit or a podcast and you are looking for guests, you are looking for people to speak, or you're hosting an event. You can absolutely do that. And I have done that, absolutely. But for me, the most magical and expansive and abundant opportunities come through the connections that just happen. Like, you might see a post online, or someone sees a post of yours online, or someone reads your book and they find their way to you, and you realize like there's something here, there's a resonance, and you just follow that thread. I could give you probably 100 examples of this in my own life, in my own business. And I don't want this to sound like transactional, because it definitely is not. It's like, let's follow the connection. Always like, how can I move more deeply into connection with this person? And that's not even like a conscious question that I'm asking myself, or you need to ask yourself. It's something we naturally do when we resonate with somebody, when it's like, oh yeah, when we're attracted to somebody and we want to move closer, like follow that, trust that. Like this is abundance. This is abundance. So for me, like I said, that's such a vital piece of the puzzle. In fact, it kind of underlies everything. And I guess my invitation to you right now is to reflect back, one, on like connections you've made in the past, and just like take maybe 2 or 3 of those and just reflect on like what they have led to, like the magic they have sparked. And then 2, think about the people you're connected with, or maybe over the next week, just notice like who you are resonating with, or people who are resonating with you and interacting with you, and follow that connection, like really enter into it and see, just be open to where that wants to go. So collaboration and connection, so important. As I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, this is something we are going to be diving into more fully in the Abundant Author Academy, the new membership we have at the Unbound Press, which is dedicated to really harnessing the power of your book, of your writing, to create more impact and streams of abundance of all kinds, but certainly financial abundance. So if you are curious about that, if you want to dive more deeply into your own abundant author journey, I invite you to come and join us over there. There is no fancy sales page. There is no sales page. It is a Google Doc at the moment. We've opened the doors, and I think we've got about 35 amazing magical beings over there in the Abundant Author Academy as I am recording this. So come join us. Let's play. Let's dive into all of these areas that I've been talking about in this mini series. Experiment. See what wants to open up. So we'll pop the link to the Google Doc in the show notes. And if you have any trouble finding it, just hit me up. Hit me up. I'm at Nicola Humber on Instagram, or come find me on Facebook, and I will make sure that you can find it. You can find the invitation page. All right, my loves, I have so enjoyed exploring at least a little bit of what it means to be an abundant author and how you get to step more fully into the abundant author you are through these last few episodes. If you have any questions, anything bubbling, please do reach out, because that can always spark inspiration for new episodes. And here is to following the threads. Here's to following the threads of connection and seeing where they want to lead. What do you do when you want to write a book, but the usual approaches are leaving you feeling restricted, pressurized, not at all enough, and pretty dry, to be honest? You find another way, of course. And if you are listening to this, my free unconventional book writing guide is going to be perfect for you. It's designed especially for soul-led coaches, healers, and mentors who want to write a transformational book without spending hours on end chained to a desk. In it, I'm giving you my unique spin on the top 10 questions I hear from would-be authors, and it's going to help you liberate the way you write forever. Download your free copy of the guide now over at nicolahumber.com/10, the number 10, 10 hyphen questions.